I teamed up with a local DIYer for a project that so many have asked for. We're making a concrete countertop, but on a smaller scale. And I quickly learned that this project is all about the prep work.
This dresser needs a new top. DIYer Heidi Wilson already built new supports for this console in her entryway, and that's because we're about to put 200 pounds of concrete on top.
Where do we start?
We're starting by completing the mold that's partially done.
Okay.
And then we're going to sort of treat the mold so it releases the concrete easy enough, hopefully.
All right, let's go.
Heidi started the mold with melamine boards. That smooth surface makes it easier for the concrete to not get stuck. And she has a beautiful wood board in the center, which will be framed with concrete. First, though, we need to cut the short ends of the mold.
All right, so now we attach these to the ends of your molds, right?
Correct. Notice how this is level, Danielle.
Okay, so Joey, this is really important that this is level, because when we pour the concrete in, if it's not level, it is going to change the thickness from one side to another. It's a lesson that Heidi learned the hard way.
The hard way, as most lessons I learn.
That's DIY.
That's it. That's DIY, right?
All right.
Heidi is pre-drilling so we don't split the wood when the screws go in.
Sometimes you're the main star and sometimes you're just a human clamp.
Then we added a bunch of screws around the wood center board. Those will hold wire to better support the concrete, kind of like rebar would. You need to make sure you clean up all the sawdust so it doesn't get in the concrete. Then we taped the sides to prepare to add silicone caulk to the seams of the mold. That will keep the concrete out of the cracks.
We also need a little cup of water, is the trick. It sure does get worse before it gets better.
Right.
It looks really bruta.
Right.
But I know
Hot
it's
mess.
gonna work out.
Then Heidi put a lot of 16-gauge annealed wire around the screws.
We're giving the concrete something to grab onto. All right, is it gorgeous or what? All done. Beautiful, right?
Now, more vacuuming. One last step before concrete, rubbing paste finishing wax all over the inside, sort of like greasing a pan before you bake. After that, Heidi took over. She mixed over 2 bags of concrete and poured it into the mold. That made a top that's about 6 feet long and 1.5 feet wide. Then she hit the sides with a rubber mallet to pop any air bubbles. You can also vibrate the sides with a power tool. That sat for over 24 hours before she popped the mold off. Then she sanded it with 150 grit sandpaper and sealed it. Here it is. Looks fantastic.
So good, right? So industrial.
Yeah, it reminds me of something that you would get at Restoration Hardware.
Yes, yeah. And I was not there for the lift. Actually, Heidi is married to a staffer here at KOB, and he said that they got 4 guys to lift that top up.
Wow, I'm sure it was heavy.
More than 200 pounds, yeah.
My goodness. Yeah,
So,
I mean, doing it DIY, it saves you so much money. Something like that would probably be about $3,000-4,000.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, but it looks gorgeous.
Thanks, yeah.
And whose foyer is that in?
It's Stan, our assignment desk, yeah.
No.
And his wife, Heidi.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you got a window into Stan's house.
Didn't even know. Didn't know that was his wife.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
my
she's
goodness.
delightful.
Okay, you know what? You learn something new every day here on KOB 4 Mornings, right?